Now it's time to set up the Adobe Premiere project. This will be the only time that we start Adobe Premiere this way. We only do this at the beginning of the project. After that, we use File Explorer to go to our project folder and double-click on the project we find there. This is extremely important. This is the time when we will be setting up this new project, and we're going to be doing this by changing the name of the project and where it's going to be located. If you don't change this part right here, you will never be backing it up and you could lose all your work. A good name for a project always starts with the date. So I'm going to start mine, as you can see, with 180928, all about me video, and then put my name. Put your name afterwards. We're not done yet, so let's browse to our documents. Always click on the little arrows here. Find your video project. Here we are, the video project folder. This is the name of the folder. So we've got the name of the file project and the name of the folder for the project. And now I do ask you to change the scratch disks. Right now they're set to saving all of the scratch and other previews and autosaves and everything to the same as the project folder, which means we'd be backing up a lot of stuff we really don't need to. So the video previews and the audio previews are really the only thing to worry about. So here when we go to Documents, you can see the scratch folder. When we select that, it should show right here. Video previews are the largest. Audio previews can also be pretty big, and notice it already knows about the scratch folder. You could change them for the rest, but it's unlikely that we would be doing anything with captured audio or captured video at this time. So I just say click OK to continue. Now I have a couple of other videos that are using Adobe Creative Cloud 2015. So this 2018 version does have some things that are different, but there's plenty that's the same. This box right here, I call this the asset box. And we're going to create things and import things. They'll always be right in here. Sometimes we have to get back to the project folder right here in order to see it. This is the timeline, and right now there are no sequences. When you get sequences made, you can accidentally close them, but they'll be over here and you can open them back up again. Let's go and create our first one. File, New, Sequence. I always make the first one the master sequence, and that's actually the last one that we'll use. But it's the first one that we always create. This format is really bad for us. It's nowhere near the size, and it's actually a very, very old format that never has looked good. We're going to be using the AVCHD 1080p 30 frames per second. You need to find this one. If you don't do that, then you have to redo a lot of your work if you get very far down the road. Once you click OK, it's going to remember that. It'll show you an item here in your asset box. Here's the master timeline. Sequence is another name for that. And you can see we have our what I call a laser pointer. It's the current time indicator starting at 0 seconds. Now what you'll see in my videos is that this little button is that there's a button right down here that will allow you to switch from this icon view to a list view, which is a lot more helpful. Let me switch it now, and you can see that we have one master timeline. The other thing we know we need to do is get our pictures in here. Another thing that you can use to get them in here is just to double click in this empty space. However, there are some keyboard shortcuts like File, Import. You can see the Control-I. That will also bring things in. What we want is the Final Images folder. Mistake a lot of people make is they double click on it and see all the pictures and then try to bring them in. We're going to use the Import Folder button, however, by selecting that and bringing in the whole folder at once. This allows us to open the folder, see the pictures, close it up, and stay organized. We're also going to make sequences, just like the master, for each of the 3 categories. So they will be A, B, and C with the names of the categories in them. If you are using My Pictures, then we will use animals, flowers, and cities for the 3 categories.